I'm delighted to have guest Steve Harley with me now on N Live Radio in association with the Retro Charts. Steve, welcome to the show.
Well, it's very nice to be with you. Thank you very much.
It's lovely to have you.
Thank you.
Before we talk about your new album, I'd like to first ask you about your childhood, if I may.
Childhood?
Yes, you were really quite poorly as a child, weren't you?
Yeah, in and out of hospital for 4 years, or between 3 and 16, I think it was, yeah.
And you had a visit at one point in hospital. The
not
Rolling Stones?
Oh, the Rolling Stones
Yes.
came. Yeah, well,
Yes.
they came to the hospital, not to see me particularly.
No, but as a visit to the hospital.
Yeah. Back in those days, when was that? 1963. I think they did that. The pop acts did a bit of public relations, by visiting hospitals and stuff. It was quite well done in those days. I don't think we do it so much now.
No.
We do it more. Yeah, they came along and they'd had a couple of hits by then.
Yeah, and what was that like for you?
Well, I was only 12. I mean,
but did it make you...
looking at these blokes who were famous rock stars, it was a bit odd, to be honest. Slightly surreal. But
did it make you have an interest in music?
No, not a bit. No. They came in and we were playing Bob Dylan. They didn't like it much.
Oh, and your Dylan song, the first song that you learned on the guitar was Blowing in the Wind, wasn't
it?
Yeah,
we had the Times They Were Changing album on our Dan set record.
Yeah.
record player, and they were mocking that. But otherwise, yeah, there was a long time in and out of hospital, sometimes for 9-10 months at a time. But anyway, there you go. I've travelled around the world since then.
Of course you have. We'll talk about that as well. I just wondered whether sort of that time period when you were younger made you reflect, or perhaps you had more chance to read, or you quite, think about poetry.
Yeah,
or
I became an avid reader.
Yes, whether that sort of...
Yeah, from a very young age I was reading poetry and... extracurricular books from school, I was being schooled in the hospital. It was a children's hospital, and we had a teacher. And she got me. I even did my O-levels prep. I took them at school, but I was in the hospital for most of that year, school year, learning them, doing the curriculum, then sending it back to school.
And then you went into journalism, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I think I read that actually you wanted to give up your job because you're too sensitive as a poet, and you didn't want to ruin people's lives, did you?
Yeah, well, in local journalism, the last year of my career, I was in Whitechapel, Mile End, and great area really, but some good stories too, of course. It was Crayland back then.
Crikey, all sorts of things going on.
Yeah, and in the magistrates' court, we used to spend a lot of time, the junior reporters, a lot of time in Bow Magistrates Court. And some of the stories were a bit unnecessary, little shoplifting stories. And I got fed up with having to write that rubbish when a woman going through the menopause and wasn't quite herself had been caught stealing a tin of tomato soup, and not really knowing she'd done it. I mean, I didn't know much about women and the menopause back then. I was 21 years old, but of course, it didn't take me long to reflect and understand what was going on. But I didn't like the idea that the neighbours read it and the school children read it. I didn't need that.
And it's quite unkind, isn't it? So
so I think I did get a little bit sensitive for such a job,
And so then you went on to busking and writing your own songs, and really your own truth, I suppose, led you to your success, would you say?
Well, I just wanted to play my guitar and write songs. I was doing it in the folk clubs, which didn't suit me because I'm from Deptford. We don't have folk music.
No, so then you went on to create your own band.
Yeah. It was the only way.
And we must talk about Make Me Smile. Obviously, it's sold so many records, hasn't it? Over 1.5 million records. Yeah. And, it's one of the most played records in British broadcasting. So what do you think the magic is in that song?
I wish I knew.
I mean, it is. It's so brilliant, isn't it?
If I knew there'd be dozens of them in my catalogue.
How long did it take you to write it?
I can't really remember. The lyrics came first with that. I wrote the story, the lyric, and then put it to a slow blues guitar pattern, and so it started life.
Because in reality, it's a very cynical song, really, isn't it?
It's quite cynical.
Yeah, and then it's to a poppy tune now.
Yeah, I mean, these three guys walked out on me with no real explanation other than they thought they could write hit songs, and it's not as easy as it sounds.
No.
But, so they walked out on me, and I walked out of Cockney Rebel, and
And you penned it, and then look what happened.
Yeah, there you go, out of adversity, you see.
Yeah.
I wrote about it and made a great record out of it with Alan Parsons and a really good band of musicians.
And there's about over 125 versions of that now.
Yeah.
Do you tire of that sometimes?
No, some of them are really interesting, and some are just they're sort of replicas of the original.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite cover of it?
Yeah, my favourite is The Wedding Present.
Ah, because it's punky.
Punky. I like the way they got the point.
Yeah.
I always did.
Yeah, they really bring it out, the cynical side.
Yeah. No, I'm grateful to anyone. Every songwriter is. You never get complacent about hearing that someone's covered or made their own interpretation of one of your songs. I mean, my new album, Uncovered, is 9 of the 11 are other people's songs.
It is indeed, yes.
And so they're my interpretations.
Yeah, and let's talk about that album now. So February the 21st, your new album, then Uncovered, is out, it's released. So how did you make these choices? Because I suppose the songs, they all sort of connect and resonate with you in some way, but it must have been difficult.
The songs that are on there, the 9, are all songs which I've been singing at home for a very long time. And except the Long Pigs song, Lost Myself, that was in 1996, 97. So that's the youngest of the whole set. I never thought about dates. They're just songs that I've always sung, like the Cat Stevens, How Can I Tell You? It's a song, and I know him, and I've said to him, I'd have given anything to have written that. I mean, it's the most perfect song.
Oh, so they're almost like tributes as well.
Yeah, there is a bit of that.
Great artists.
Bit of that. They're people who have impressed me in some way, or influenced me even.
Did it really only take you just 1.5 days to record all of these songs?
To sing them, not to make the album.
No, but to sing them through.
Yeah, I sang the 12. There were 12 songs we recorded, and we dropped one off. We went in. My engineer and I the guys in the band had all gone home. We were at Rockfield Residential Studio in Wales, in Monmouth, and they'd all gone home after breakfast on their last day. And I said to my engineer, Matt Butler, "Let's go in and do it." And I couldn't even. I've been singing them, you see.
Yeah.
I've been singing. It wasn't like making a new album of new songs.
No.
These songs were incredibly familiar to me.
Yeah.
So he didn't really understand that. He thought it would take ages. We usually take 3 or 4 hours per song.
Yeah.
I said, "No, God, man, I've been singing it for 20 years, look." And I went to sit at the mic, and he's top engineer with great microphones of his own, and I just sat there, sang it once, and I said, "Let's move on." And he said, "Well, it's perfect." And I'm saying, "Well, yeah, but I've been doing it for a long time. It should be."
It is a beautiful album.
Well, thank you. That's really kind of you.
Yeah, it sort of reminds me of being at a festival, like a folk festival in the evening in a marquee, and you're listening to these great songs, and you can feel sort of almost see the your own breath, and it's cold, and that's how I feel about it when I listen to it. I think it might be the production on that, but
yeah. We it's a very unusual, if I can say this myself, it's a very unusual record. It's got no EQ, and which means to the uninitiated, equalization is when an engineer turns loads of knobs to change and improve the sound.
Yeah. And
I said to him,
it's so much better just stripped back.
Yeah, I wanted it to be like I was playing in your living room.
Yeah, it really does. That's what it's like.
Well, thank you. I'm glad
fantastic.
You get that. Yeah, it's nice. I said the voice has to be 3D and up close, and I want them to hear every little syllable, every click, every. They want to hear the sibilance in my mouth. And he got that. He's a very skilled engineer, a really skillful person. And, engineers could say, what do you mean, no twiddling? Because the first thing I said to him was, this has to be as organic as music gets. I want it like I'm playing in the living room, and meaning no twiddling.
Yeah, and that's the magic, I think, in that album, that overall feel and style. Do you have a favourite song? It's hard, isn't it, I suppose?
They're all my babies now, aren't they?
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah, you couldn't really pick one.
You don't have a favourite child if you do what I do. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair. There's some quite interesting things. Tell me about the missing verses that you found on the Star of Belle Isle.
There's a traditional Canadian folk song called Star of Belle Isle, and I've always loved the song, always. It's a beautiful melody, a really good story. It's Odysseus. It's based on the Greek myth of Odysseus and Penelope. He went to the Trojan Wars for 20 years and she was faithful.
Yeah.
It's based on that, obviously, and it's a folk song, traditional from about 150 years ago, from Newfoundland. And I always knew the song and always adored it. And I did a lot of research to see various versions. And lo and behold, eventually, I knew a folk singing friend of mine told me that there were 2 missing verses on everybody's cover. If you go and listen to it, everyone who's ever done it, they miss out these last 2 verses.
Oh.
And I was determined to find them, and eventually I did. There's a Scottish old man, he's a very elderly fellow, I think he's still alive, called Archie Fisher, and I found Archie Fisher singing Belle Isle, Star of Belle Isle, in a Scottish pub on a handmade film that someone made, and he's put it online somewhere. And Archie sings those 2 verses, and it was striking gold for me. It was
wonderful.
a magic moment. Yeah.
Good old Archie.
I slowed it down. I wrote them all down by stopping the film, wrote every word down. And then I went up to Scotland and had Eddie Reader, the wondrous Eddie Reader, sing the female part on it with me as a duet.
Yeah, sounds wonderful.
Well, thank you. Yeah. She's magic.
Yeah, exquisite. And you've added another verse as well, a new 3rd verse to your song as well, Live Compared with You.
Yeah, it was released in 1976 on the Love's a Prima Donna album. And for some reason, I was only 25, and I would have been... We released an album every year. Imagine that, God.
That is isn't it?
Every year. It's frenetic. And I was prolific. So why did I only write 2 verses? And then every time I've sung it over the years on stage, I'm singing it with all the passion I can give, and my eyes are closed. And then fleeting thoughts cross your mind, one of which often is, why are you singing the first verse as a 3rd verse? Why are you repeating it? Why do you do that? Why were you so lazy? Were you lazy? Did you run out of ideas?
What happened? Yeah.
All this is going on while I'm singing to God knows how many people. So I took it in and said to my engineer again and the musicians, I want to play this song in this format, acoustic strings, no piano, no production.
Yeah.
And then I wrote the 3rd verse.
Fabulous.
It just came to me after breakfast one morning. I popped out into the sun in July, sat at a picnic bench, and the muse came and sat on my shoulder for 5 minutes.
Brilliant. Is that how it works for you?
Yeah.
Is there a sort of way?
You can wait a long time. You can wait and wait and wait, and then suddenly click, and you don't know why. What happened? What changed? And again, it's called composition. Creativity. You can't know.
No.
That's the mystery of it all.
It just comes to you.
Huh?
It just sort of appears then.
Yeah, it's a mystery. Yeah. Isn't that good?
I think that's brilliant. That's what creative types, that's what you're all about, isn't it, really? And you have the faith as well, don't you?
Oh, yeah, you mustn't give up.
Yeah.
No, I'm very optimistic. I'm a fatalist. I'm quite religious.
Yes, yeah.
But I am also a fatalist, oddly enough. I believe entirely that everything is destined.
Do you?
I do. I'm one of those, I'm sorry for the cliche or the platitude, but when one door shuts, another will open.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to.
Yes.
And it's destiny, and I'm all for it. Yeah, I never get down about mishaps. I just say there's a reason for this.
Yeah.
My dad taught me when I was on crutches for 12 years, 13 years. He taught me if I got tripped up in the playground, get up and get on.
Yeah.
Don't feel sorry for yourself.
No, good advice, really, and I guess that's what's led to your super success.
Yeah.
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 I think on one of the films you said about when people stop believing in religion, they don't believe in nothing, they believe in anything.
Well, yeah.
I think that's quite interesting.
It's
G.K. Chesterton, yeah.
And it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in religion, you don't believe in nothing. You believe in anything. And that's not good.
No.
That's not good at all.
Sort of got nowhere to go with that then,
Nowhere to go.
No.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
No, I try. It's quite interesting on tour. I'm away a lot, an awful lot. And my parish church, in a tiny hamlet in North Essex, South Suffolk, on the border, and communion is 8:45 on a Sunday morning. But I'm away nearly every Sunday morning of the year, and if I'm not, I got home very late on the Saturday. And I don't get to many services anymore, but I get to them on the road. I've been in cathedrals in any number of about a dozen different times over the last 5 or 6 years by popping into a cathedral in a big city.
And I suppose that gives you that solitude.
Yeah,
I need to sort of reboot.
I need it. Gives me peace and hope.
So your UK tour then kicks off very soon, Friday the 21st of Feb.
The same day as the album comes out.
Same day, which makes perfect sense. Yes, I did wonder that, actually. Yeah.
The live date was in long before the album was considered as, we weren't finished. And the distributor said it will work really well if you wait till the 21st of February. And yes.
Plan. You've got a plan. So you start off in Harrogate with your acoustic band.
Yep.
And then your tour goes throughout March and into mid-April as well, doesn't it?
No. We've got dates in September, October.
Oh, and then it carries on again. You've got July and August of festivals, and then it happens again.
Yeah, we've got lots of festivals through the summer.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, well, there's more that are not yet online because they're not quite finalised.
So more are coming in all the time?
Yeah. It's interesting. I haven't had an agent for 3 years, and I just haven't stopped working since I dropped my agent.
Wow. Well, there you go then.
Promoters and venues, they come to my office, they write to my office constantly. Like now, once we put 5 or 6 dates online on tour and on Facebook, and it's read by all the people in the industry, then they don't need to go to a middleman. They come straight.
No, because more people want to book you directly.
Yeah, they come straight to my assistant who runs my company, and they say, Steve's on the road, will you come to our town?
Brilliant. So you'll be adding more dates all the time.
You got it. We're actually adding them as we speak.
Right now, there's another date going in.
Right now.
Brilliant.
Right now. We're adding them. Yep, I'm pretty sure one came today. And, there's a reason for it, and I just love working. I would hate to not have an audience.
Well, you do it so well. Why wouldn't you want to keep going? You've got a gig on your birthday as well, haven't you? 27th of Feb, a solo
this year
gig.
I'll be on stage in London.
And then you'll also be. I think you're also booked next year for your 70th birthday, aren't you, in Glasgow?
Yeah, big stuff.
Wow, well, so you're working on your birthday, but that means that everyone can celebrate with you.
Yeah, someone else put that to me, and I said, well, it's a Saturday night, and we'll play to 3,000 people in Glasgow. I mean, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't
get much better than that, does it?
Get better. No, it does not. Yeah. They'll come from all over the world for it, and the Scottish audience is amazing. And
they go nuts, don't they?
Yeah, they're wonderful. And I was down in Brighton a month ago, where my mother was brought up there, and 26 of us went to a burial ground near the Brighton racecourse and spread the ashes around a young sapling tree of both my mother and my dad. They died 10 years apart, but we 12 years apart, but we kept the ashes until... Anyway, we put them together. We brought them back together again, and then we all went to lunch at the Grand Hotel, and there were 26 of us there. And I said to 25 of them, I said, next year, Glasgow, I'm going to fly. And if you're ready and you want to come, so we're going to fly the whole family up, or my own family, my own kids and grandchildren.
Brilliant.
Fly them all up, so I can actually have a birthday party.
Oh, you will? Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, that sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Great. Well, that's just part of the adventure of a life like mine.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Sounds amazing.
What did Virginia Woolf say? All is experiment and adventure.
And it's keeping you young, I reckon. You're looking great for your age, aren't you?
Thank you.
You're keeping on rocking. Bless you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle, especially with the voice. But yeah, it's funny. My dad looked really old when he was 50.
Oh, really? Well, I think, it's a different times now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's different
we all
times.
use women's creams now, the men.
So, you have your anti-aging creams.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today.
Me too.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Absolutely.
And I wish you all the very best with all of the dates for your acoustic tour. I mean, it sounds brilliant. And, when you do the band stuff as well.
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah, I might try and get out to see one of the dates, actually.
Where are you based?
Northampton.
Oh, do come to Wavendon in December.
Yes.
We're playing, the rock band's playing.
Fantastic.
Stables in December.
Oh, I absolutely love to come to that. Yeah, I'll definitely come.
All right, well, if you do, come and say hello, won't you?
Come up and see me, make me smile.
Yeah, come on and see me.
Wonder how many people say that to you on a daily basis.
You've
never heard it ever, have you? Ridiculous. No, thanks so much. Thanks again. And we're going to leave you now. We're going to play I've Just Seen a Face from your album.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. Oh.